Massachusetts or California? Which state is better for you? Well, let's talk about 10 important key differences between the two states. What's up, everyone? I'm Sebastian Roy, back with another video on Massachusetts living. I started this channel as a Mass native to inform visitors or soon-to-be residents about life up here. I'm also a realtor, and I focus on helping those who are relocating to or from Mass. And if you or anyone you know is making a move, I would greatly appreciate it if you could share my information with them, because I would love to help them through the home buying process. Alright, well, as two of the most expensive states in the nation, there's gotta be good reason why people choose to pay the high prices and live here, right? So let's get into 10 key differences of living in Massachusetts versus California. First, let's compare the cost of living. The average sales price of single-family homes in Massachusetts during December of 2023 was $578,000, which is up 8% year over year. California, on the other hand, has an average sales price of $755,000 over the same period, which is a 7% increase year over year, making home prices in Massachusetts 23% less expensive than in California. Yeah, that's a big difference. And keep in mind that those are the average prices for the entire state, so certain areas can be much less or much more expensive. Like, you can still find homes in Berkshire County for $300,000 that are pretty much move-in ready. And I don't know about California, but I would think you can still find homes around $500,000 in certain parts of the state. What does tend to be higher in Mass than California are home energy costs, which is number 2 on the list. This article here from Forbes shows that the average monthly energy cost in California is $124 per month, while Massachusetts averages an energy bill of $136 per month. This article was published in May of last year, so the numbers probably aren't super accurate, but it should give you a rough idea of certain costs. So, not a huge difference between the energy costs, but it's slightly more expensive here in the Bay State. The third difference between Mass and California is our culture. Bostonians might have a reputation for being a bit outspoken, but at the same time, we're kind of a little bit more laid back than some other big cities like LA or New York City, and traffic's usually not as bad here either. We definitely do have our fair share of congestion, but it's nothing compared to the 405 freeway. And as far as public transit goes, we're ranked number 5 in the nation, and once you enter Boston, there's tons of trains, ferries, buses, Ubers. They even have electric bikes and scooters to get around on. Number 4 is the infrastructure differences between Boston and LA. Here in Boston, many of the buildings were built around the Revolutionary War era, and the streets are made of cobblestone, which were originally designed for horse and buggies. They do look really beautiful, but they're pretty narrow and they're not laid out very well, which makes traffic congestion worse, which is one of the reasons why so many residents in Boston choose to walk or use public transportation. But the good thing is that you're just a hop, a skip, and a jump away from the Boston Harbor, and the foliage is really, really nice here in the fall. On the other hand, LA has much newer, modernized buildings, and it's way more populated with roughly 4 million residents as of 2020 compared to Boston's 700,000 residents in 2023. Even though those numbers were taken 3 years apart, the bottom line is that LA is many times bigger than Boston, both in population and size, with the square mileage of LA at 469 miles, whereas Boston is only 48 square miles. Fifth on the list is income tax. California has one of the highest state income tax rates in the country, topping out at 13.3%. Here in Massachusetts, we've got a much more modest 5% across the board for all income levels, so you'll save some money in income tax by living in Mass, but I wouldn't get too excited because we have plenty of other taxes. After all, there's a reason why they call it Taxachusetts. Another difference between the two states is their love of sports. Now, I'm not saying that California isn't passionate about their teams. I just think that Bostonians' love for sports goes beyond passion. Growing up in Mass, I've noticed that sports are just ingrained in the city's identity, which forms an unwavering loyalty that transcends back generations. The successes and failures of iconic teams like the Boston Red Sox, the Celtics, the Bruins, and the New England Patriots have become synonymous with Boston's pride, and each victory is a collective celebration that is celebrated throughout the city. And Boston's athletes are not just players, they're truly local heroes. Names like Tom Brady, Larry Bird, David Ortiz, and Bobby Orr are considered legends, and their legacy will live on forever. Now, number 7 is probably the most notable difference, and that's the weather. Boston's annual high temperature is 56 degrees, with summer temps averaging 82 degrees and winter temps averaging about 29 degrees. But on windy days, temperatures can drop an additional 20 or so degrees when factoring in the wind chill, so take that into consideration. But honestly, this doesn't happen all that often. The average precipitation levels is about 43 inches per year here in Mass, and that includes snowfall. And although these numbers might seem frightening, the winters here in Mass have been getting more mild every year. Last weekend we had 2 days that were nearly 50 degrees, which were actually record-setting highs for the time of year. But compare that to San Francisco's winter temps averaging 57 degrees and their summer temps topping out at 72 degrees. The winters in San Francisco are much warmer, but the summers are about 10 degrees cooler, and they're much less humid than in Mass. As far as precipitation, San Francisco gets less than half of Boston at roughly 20 inches of rain per year, and one of the best parts, in my opinion, is that snow is basically non-existent. How about the history of each state? Well, Boston is where our country was formed after the Revolutionary War took place. You can follow the Freedom Trail to many historic sites that highlight Boston's role in the war, and there's also many historic houses. And I mean, you can almost always go and do like a fun graveyard tour or some sort of the founding fathers, especially around Halloween, because a lot of them are buried here. Now, Los Angeles has some great museums, but nothing really compares to what Boston offers. Boston is literally where patriotism all started, and that's how we got the name the New England Patriots. Now, what's the nightlife like in Mass and California? Well, there's no happy hour here in Mass due to a statewide law prohibiting happy hour. So if you've experienced the vibrant nightlife of major cities, Boston's nightlife might not impress you. The bars in Boston close around the same time as LA, usually around 2 a.m., but there's less diverse and vibrant bars and clubs. The good news is that both states have their own unique style, and craft breweries are common in both states as well. And finally, a 10th difference between living in Mass versus California is the job opportunities. Now, both states have plenty of career opportunities, so that's really good, but California is known for its prominence in the tech and entertainment sectors, especially in Silicon Valley and Los Angeles, being home to giants like Google, Apple, and Facebook. And the entertainment industry in LA provides opportunities for aspiring actors, filmmakers, and musicians to pursue their dreams. Over in Massachusetts, Boston is our state's major economic center. They have a focus on education, healthcare, biotech, and finance. Boston's prestigious universities and research institutions attract top talent from around the world, and its financial sector offers opportunities for those interested in finance, investment banking, and asset management. So, like I said, both states have thriving job markets. I guess it's more just a question of which sector you choose to enter. So to wrap it all up, Massachusetts is a unique state with lots to do, but California has the major cities, some great weather, and geography that's hard to beat. I'm curious to know what your thoughts are, so let me know in the comments below. Hit that subscribe button, and I'll catch you next time.